All right, hey everybody, Professor Klein here. This is the video on the lung lobule model. Let's begin. All right, giving you a full 360 of the lung lobule model. And this is a chunk of a lung. So imagine if I were to take a little tiny bit of chunk and expand that out. That's what we're looking at here with this model. So you can see up here, just generally this would be a bronchus, or you could say bronchi for plural, probably a tertiary, maybe a secondary, who knows, but it's a bronchus just generally. Now the blue stuff would be cartilage. And we know there's a bunch of cartilage in the bronchi especially, and cartilage is hyaline cartilage in this case. Now as you go down to these tubes here, which would be considered more bronchioles, you have more salmon colored rings, which are smooth muscle. Less blue, more salmon, that's smooth muscle. Additionally, you can see that these are tubular. So if I bring this up, show you inside, that is a tube where air would travel. Now other tubes on here would be the pulmonary artery and the pulmonary vein. Now normally arteries are red, but in this case the pulmonary artery is purple or blue because it's deoxygenated and it's traveling away from the heart down to the lung tissue to pick up oxygen. So you're looking at that pulmonary artery coming down and it splits a ton. This model does a great job of showing a bunch of splits into, let's say, the pulmonary arteriole, which is a small artery. If I flip it around to the back, you can see the splits as well. All that dark blue, purplish, small lines would be the pulmonary arterioles. And then eventually they turn into capillaries. Capillaries are pressed against the alveoli. These red lines here are depicting capillaries, and then eventually they turn into this red, which is the pulmonary venule. Lots of pulmonary venules here. Venule is a small vein, and it's gonna lead up to, like a bunch of creeks going into a river, the pulmonary vein. There it is, right there. Getting oxygenated because it just picked up oxygen, but a vein because it's headed back towards the heart. I'll flip it over again so you can see the pulmonary venules coming off of the capillaries right here, and then going up and up to that pulmonary vein. Over here though is a different artery. This is the bronchial artery. Now this one's red because it's oxygenated, and the bronchial artery is going to supply the bronchi and the bronchioles with oxygenated blood. So you kind of lose it in there because it's in the background, but that's the bronchial artery and the bronchial vein right next to it. Vein would have a lot of different splits as it leads up back to the heart as well. Yellow would be nerves. And I don't know what this thing is here. You guys comment if you know what this little star thing is. Everything's got a function on here, but I've not been able to figure out what the heck this thing is right here. Well, what else we got? Well, if I zoom out even more, surrounding everything, these are the visceral pleural layers. Visceral pleura surrounding the alveoli. You can see a bunch of cells in here producing that visceral pleura, protecting the lung itself. Well, a couple more things to note. Back up to here, this is mucus, a little green mucus right here, and blue again. So we're talking about veins or venules. And then as you come down, again, salmon colored is the smooth muscle. Now one giant sac is called an alveolar sac, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 of them right here. But one bubble is one alveoli. This is an alveolar duct, which would spread air amongst all the alveoli in an efficient manner. And check out my other video that I got on this model. This is the alveolar model, which would zoom in to 2, 3, or 4 specific alveoli. But this has been the video on the alveolar model. Thanks for watching.